How do you like measure complexity in that sense? Do you think like in terms of permutations on like when things can ramp off in like the if you see it of like the tree of paths you can take to reach each like result, or how do you when you say complicate like complex,
Hmm.
yeah, how do you measure that?
That's kind of the hard part. That kind of has to do with what I said before about like setting a vision for a recipe and what the challenge is supposed to be.
Right.
So if this challenge is supposed to be purely based on the ratios being just annoying, then we just have to look at like what is going in and kind of skew that around, right? So if one recipe is making 30 per minute and I need that, then I will take an amount that other recipe requires per minute that doesn't match up with 30 at all.
Hmm. All right.
And the more that disaligns, so I tend to note down actually the ratios. It's like 3 to 8, 1 to 2, all that stuff.
Right. Right.
That you would need to get a clean setup with everything running at 100%. That gives me a good baseline to see how messed up the ratios generally are.
Yeah.
But then, of course, all the other stuff comes in with like, okay, how many different types of raw resources do you need for this? What is the complexity of the part going into this other part? And how many do I need of that? And then what is the ratio of that?
Right.
And what
Right.
makes that then, does that create with the ratio of this other part going into the requirements? And yeah.
Cool. So it's like, yeah, how many steps you need to take in order to reach a certain, like to get an even ratio of production, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I tend to look from the 100% efficient without having to clock perspective.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then people are cheating and it's like I just over like I do this whenever I'm setting up a
Hmm.
line and I see like one machine and I'm not going like I'm just gonna overclock this a little bit and then don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
But I think that's fine, and that's kind of why it's there as well, because sometimes you just want something that doesn't really work that way. So either you try to just figure that out and make like a bigger setup than you actually need, or you just underclock it a little bit here and there, and it works out as well.
Hmm. Gotcha.